Hello, my dear students. Today I am going to explain oxidation, reduction, and redox reactions and how to predict oxidizing agent and reducing agent in a redox reaction. Although this is a basic topic, but this is going to play a very important role in solving questions, numericals on redox reactions, balancing redox reactions, calculation of n factor equivalent masses of oxidizing and reducing agents. Okay, so this is just a basic topic, how to predict oxidizing and reducing agent. Now let's see what is oxidation and reduction, because we know in redox reactions both oxidation and reduction take place simultaneously. So when we talk about oxidation, so oxidation has various definitions. You see addition of oxygen. So when oxygen is added to any element or any compound, then that process is called oxidation. Like you see, I am taking some examples of this. Okay, carbon, oxygen is added to this. On heating, it gives CO2. Similarly, sulfur oxidation gives this one, magnesium with oxygen. On burning, we know magnesium oxide, like this. So addition of oxygen is oxidation, but oxygen is added to these elements, carbon, sulfur, magnesium. So we can say that carbon, sulfur and magnesium are oxidized. In this reaction, carbon, in this sulfur, in this magnesium. So addition of oxygen means oxygen is added to this element. So this element is oxidized to CO2. Okay, SO2, MgO, like that. So reduction, you see removal of oxygen. When you remove oxygen from any substance like mercuric oxide, it is solid on decomposition, gives mercury and oxygen gas. Okay, is liberated. To balance this, I am taking 2 moles here. So this is a decomposition. Mercuric oxide is decomposed to mercury and oxygen. It means I have removed oxygen from mercury. Okay, I have removed oxygen from mercury, means mercury is undergoing reduction. Removal of oxygen from mercury, so mercury undergoes reduction. So that is reduction. Let's talk about next definition, that is removal of hydrogen. The oxidation is removal of hydrogen as well. So when you remove hydrogen from any particular element, like you see hydrogen iodide on decomposition, it gives H2 and I2. Earlier iodine is present along with hydrogen, means hydrogen is removed from iodine, means we can say that iodine is present in the form of iodide ion here. This is the hydrogen iodide. So iodide ion undergoes oxidation. Okay, I minus undergoes oxidation. Removal of hydrogen takes place from iodide ion. So similarly, the definition is reversed here. We know addition of hydrogen, when hydrogen is added to any substance, so that is simply reduction. Okay, hydrogen plus sulfur, suppose it gives hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen is added to sulfur, means sulfur undergoes reduction. Sulfur undergoes reduction. CuO with hydrogen, it gives Cu plus H2O. Okay, removal of oxygen from copper, that is reduction. Addition of hydrogen to this compound, that is also reduction. Anyway, this is reduction. Oxygen is removed from copper, so copper from CuO undergoes reduction. So these are simple reactions. Okay, hydrogen iodide, you see, okay, iodide undergoes oxidation, not iodine, because that is present in I minus. Well, addition of an electronegative element, just like oxygen. Oxygen is, we know, second most electronegative element. So when any electronegative element is added, some product is formed here. Okay, we know second group elements easily react with nitrogen, 3Mg, magnesium nitride is the product. So electropositive element is, electronegative element is added to magnesium. Okay, nitrogen is more electronegative element. This is added to magnesium. So we can say that magnesium undergoes oxidation. Okay, the same reaction here, I am taking magnesium and N2, Mg3N2. Between these two, this is more electropositive. Electropositive element is added to nitrogen. So nitrogen undergoes reduction. Magnesium undergoes oxidation. Electronegative element is added to magnesium. Magnesium undergoes oxidation. Electropositive element is added to nitrogen. Nitrogen undergoes reduction. So in general, in any overall reaction, if one substance undergoes oxidation, second substance must undergo reduction. There is no reaction, there is no complete reaction in which only oxidation or only reduction takes place. Where there is an oxidation, there should be reduction, okay, in overall reaction, not half reactions. Well, this is very simple concept. Next, let's see loss of electrons. Well, metals tend to lose electrons, we know very well. It means metals tend to undergo oxidation easily, like this cesium, you see, cesium plus electron. Magnesium being a second group element, it loses 2 electrons. So loss of electrons. Who has lost electrons? Sodium, cesium, magnesium. So sodium undergoes oxidation, cesium undergoes oxidation, magnesium undergoes oxidation. Okay, and gain of electrons, exactly reverse definition. Non-metals tend to gain electron. Okay, Cl, Br, like this. Addition of electrons. Okay, electron is added to chlorine, electron is added to bromine, means this chlorine undergoes reduction, bromine undergoes reduction. You can easily understand this by this definition: increase in oxidation number. Increase in oxidation number, you know, in any elementary substance oxidation state is 0. So 0 to some positive, that is increase in oxidation state. 0 to some negative, that is decrease in oxidation state. So increase in oxidation number always oxidation, decrease in oxidation number always reduction. Okay, so this is the actual concept and differences between oxidation and reduction. Let's see some examples of redox reactions and prediction of oxidizing and reducing agents in a redox reaction. Already I told in this video, at the starting of this video, prediction of oxidizing and reducing agents is very, very important. You have to identify oxidizing agent and reducing agent in a redox reaction. Well, we came to know about oxidation and reduction. So in some reactions, some redox reactions, we know very well about redox reactions. What are redox reactions? Those reactions in which reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. Okay, reduction, oxidation. Okay, the combination of this is redox reaction. So in redox reactions, generally, you see, I am taking some examples of redox reactions. Previous examples you can take, simple examples: magnesium nitrite, H2 plus S gives hydrogen sulfide. Some complex reactions I am taking. Permanganate, dichromate are good oxidizing agents. Okay, like this. And how to predict this particular final product, that is already there in redox reactions. Okay, permanganate in acidic medium changes to Mn+2, permanganate in faintly alkaline medium or neutral medium changes to MnO2. Okay, these are fixed. Acidic medium, it changes to Mn+2. Permanganate ion in faintly alkaline medium, also called neutral medium, changes to MnO2. Dichromate ion from potassium dichromate changes to Cr+3. So these are fixed. These are fixed. Okay. So permanganate ion, when you take permanganate ion in alkali medium, strongly alkali medium, it changes to MnO4-2, manganate ion. Okay, so these conversions are fixed on the basis of medium, but dichromate acts as an oxidizing agent only in acidic medium, not in alkaline or neutral medium. So let's see these simple reactions. We know magnesium. Okay, generally in examination, in solving numericals, sometimes students face problems that how to identify oxidation, reduction, electronegative element is added, electropositive element is added. So some doubts may come, okay, because every time it is not easy to memorize electronegativity orders. So in that case, it is better to write oxidation numbers. That is the best trick. Oxidation number for any elementary substance is 0, we know. Right side nitrogen is in -3, magnesium is in +2. Increase in oxidation number is oxidation. Okay, decrease in oxidation number is reduction. Here is in +1, -2. Increase in oxidation state, decrease in oxidation state, +7 to +2. Decrease in oxidation state, increase in oxidation state. So increase in oxidation number is nothing but oxidation. Decrease in oxidation number is called reduction of yield. So hydrogen undergoes oxidation here, sulfur undergoes reduction, because addition of hydrogen is nothing but reduction, already we know. So that is simply confirmed by checking oxidation number. Permanganate ion is undergoing reduction. Fe+2, I mean ferrous, is undergoing oxidation. So the concept is that when it undergoes oxidation, okay, it undergoes oxidation by reducing some other species. It undergoes reduction by oxidizing some other species. Means the substance which undergoes oxidation is called reducing agent. Is called reducing agent. And the substance which undergoes reduction is called oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent, simply oxidant. Okay, both the terminologies are correct. Reducing agent is called reductant. What do you call it? Reductant. That is also correct. Here hydrogen is undergoing oxidation, so hydrogen is nothing but reducing agent or reductant. Sulfur is undergoing reduction, so sulfur is called oxidizing agent or oxidant. Permanganate is undergoing reduction, so permanganate is oxidizing agent. So ferrous is undergoing oxidation, so Fe+2 is called reducing agent. So this is the way to understand oxidizing and reducing agents in a redox reaction. Redox reaction is also possible within a molecule like this. Okay, KClO3 on decomposition, KCl plus O2. So I want to balance this. Okay, so here chlorine is in +5 oxidation state, oxygen is in -2, but chlorine is -1, oxygen is 0. So chlorine decrease in oxidation number, but oxygen increase in oxidation number. So oxide ion from potassium chlorate undergoes oxidation and chlorine from same substance undergoes reduction. This is called intramolecular redox reaction. Intramolecular redox reaction. Okay. So how to identify oxidizing and reducing agent? Actually, chlorine from potassium chlorate acts as oxidizing agent. Oxide ion or oxygen from potassium chlorate acts as reducing agent, because it is undergoing reduction, it is undergoing oxidation, okay, from the same substance, but different elements undergo oxidation and reduction. Okay, so different elements act as oxidizing and reducing agents. So now one more famous reaction is there, that is disproportionation reaction. Okay, many students actually think that disproportionation and intramolecular redox reaction are same. In fact, there is a difference between these two. In intramolecular redox, you have seen one element undergoes oxidation, another element undergoes reduction. But in disproportionation, it is not like that. Let's see disproportionation in detail. Disproportionation reactions. What are disproportionation reactions? These are a kind of redox reactions in which single element undergoes both oxidation and reduction. Okay, so same element undergoes both oxidation and reduction simultaneously. So that is disproportionation reaction. This is the difference between intramolecular redox reaction and disproportionation reaction. Like we have some very famous reactions of disproportionation from NCERT. It is phosphine and NaHPO2. So we know phosphorus left side elementary substance, zero oxidation state, and phosphorus is reduced to pH3. Actually there is no electronegativity difference between phosphorus and hydrogen. They have same electronegativity. So you cannot write +1 minus 3 here, but still you know addition of hydrogens is nothing but reduction. So we can say that phosphorus is undergoing reduction from phosphorus to phosphine reduction, and phosphorus is undergoing oxidation, because you see here, okay, from sodium oxygen as an ionic species, it is in +1 stage. We can directly write the oxidation state. 0 to +1, that is oxidation. 0 to some reduction, we can say this is reduction. Okay, pH 3, addition of hydrogen. So many books actually it is given +1 -3. Actually electronegativity difference is 0, phosphorus and hydrogen. So that is a controversy actually, but in many books it is given +1 and it is -3. Okay, so for predicting oxidation state, if you are strictly asked in the examination, then you can write +1 and -3. But in fact, phosphorus to phosphine, it is a reduction, and phosphorus and hydrogen, there is no electronegativity difference. So reduction takes place, oxidation takes place, same element undergoes both oxidation and reduction simultaneously. That reaction is called a disproportionation. It is also a kind of redox reaction. Chlorine, when treated with sodium hydroxide, cold and diluted. Many times this question asked in competitive examinations. Sodium hypochlorite plus water byproduct. Chlorine 0 to -1, here +1. Okay, increase decrease from same oxidation state, same chlorine, this time hot and concentrated NaOH. This gives -1 + 5, 0. Again oxidation and reduction. The same element, I mean same substance acts as both oxidizing and reducing agent. Sulfur in alkali medium. Okay, sodium sulfide is formed, sodium thiosulfate is formed. Okay, these are very standard reactions. Sulfur is in -2, here +2. Okay, you check once again whether it is +2 or not. I have a little bit doubt. You can calculate, you know. So 0 to +2, that is oxidation. 0 to -2, that is reduction. So what is the oxidizing agent? No doubt, same substance undergoes reduction and oxidation in this reaction. P4 is oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. But how to understand this? When phosphorus is converted into pH 3, what do you call this? Reduction. So now it acts as oxidizing agent. Okay, what we can say, when phosphorus is converted into phosphine, now phosphorus acts as oxidizing agent. When phosphorus is converted into sodium hypophosphite, it acts as reducing agent, means reductant. Okay, so chlorine, when chlorine is converted into chloride ion, it acts as oxidizing agent, and chlorine when converted into hypochlorite, it acts as reducing agent. Okay, reduction means oxidizing agent, oxidation means reducing agent, reduction oxidizing agent, and oxidation reducing agent. Okay, so these are actually important topics to solve questions based on balancing of redox reactions and calculation of equivalent mass. And disproportionation is also very important. Generally, sometimes you may be asked that which of the following undergoes disproportionation reaction. Many students have doubt on this. Okay, you will be given 4 options and you have to find the substance which undergoes disproportionation. Just now I told you, in disproportionation both increase and decrease of oxidation state takes place. So if the given element, that is generally central atom, is in middle oxidation state, then it undergoes disproportionation reaction. Phosphorus, you know, group 15. So group 15, what is the range? -3 to +5, group 15 elements. Group 16 elements, -2 to +6. Group 17 elements, -1 to +7, like this. So this is the minimum oxidation state, maximum oxidation state. So in P4, phosphorus is in 0 oxidation state, so middle of these two. So it undergoes disproportionation reaction. Sulfur 0, middle of these two. Chlorine 0, middle of these two. Suppose we are given HNO2, nitrogen is in +3 oxidation state, middle of these two S. It can undergo disproportionation reaction. H3PO3 you are given +3, group 15 -3 to +5, middle oxidation state. It can undergo disproportionation. You are given like this, sulfuric acid, H3PO4 like this. Sulfur is in +6. Highest oxidation state, group 16 highest is +6, so it cannot exceed its oxidation state to more than 6. So that's why sulfuric acid does not undergo disproportionation. Phosphoric acid is in +5 oxidation state. So you see, so for group 15, highest is +5, already is in highest oxidation state. So further oxidation is not possible. Suppose we are given hydrogen sulfide, sulfur is in -2. So -2 is the least oxidation state of group 16 and it cannot undergo reduction, further reduction. So if the asked element is in middle oxidation state, it undergoes a disproportionation. Okay, if it is in least or highest oxidation state, it cannot undergo disproportionation reaction, because this is a standard question for competitive examination. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video.